Yo, it's Tim McCray, and I'm here in the Feed the Wolf studio with the artist, Ren Thomas.
What's up, y'all? It's Ren Thomas, Mr. I've Been Nice. They address me as that ginger. You're checking out WTF Food and Music with my man Tim McCray. Jersey.
Yo, you know who it is, you know where I'm at, and you know what I'm doing. It's your boy, Tim McCray, WTF Food and Music. Two ingredients that will always bring people together. I'm sitting here with the legendary battle rapper. If you don't know, you about to find out. My man, Ren Thomas.
What's up, brother?
Ren, what's going on, brother?
Man, everything is great. Life is good.
That's what's up. This has been a long time in the makings, man. So,
Yeah.
we're going to just jump right into it, man. So, first of all, I don't know if anybody see what I got on.
The Scumbag Millionaires.
This is a classic right here.
Yeah,
Tell
shout
us a
out
little
to-
bit about the Scumbag Millionaires.
So Scumbag Millionaires is a project by Screw Tape. It was after I did the battle rap scene and all that. I met Screw at a show.
Shout out, Screw.
Yeah, Screw's my brother. And he was putting together this project called Scumbag Millionaires. And during that time, I didn't really know who he was, but he sent me this beat produced by Mr. Green. And I jumped on it, sent it back to him. He sent it back, and I thought the track was crazy. And he put it on Scumbag Millionaires, and then it became people's favorite track on that album. It was called Recognize. And so he started asking me to come out to Philly to perform the record.
Okay.
And every time I came out, it was like, when we did that record, the place would go crazy. So then he started being like, hey, come out and do the record and also do one of yours. And then it turned into two of mine. And then people from Philly started being like, yo, who is this guy? And then I started getting my own shows booked in Philadelphia. At this point, I didn't really have a buzz in Jersey. I had a little bit of a buzz in New York because I was a 2013 EO Dub world champ. I placed third in the world. I represented America and England for that. But it was very hard to book shows at that time, especially paid shows. And Screw opened up that door in Philadelphia for me, and I really took that scene as my home front. And I would go down to Philly. I actually ended up on a bunch of lists saying top 10 up and coming rappers from Philadelphia.
That's what's up.
And I'm from Jersey. So
Philly is that gateway too, man.
Yeah.
It's one of the major markets.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard place to break in because cats will pull you off stage. It was definitely a blessing to be a part of that project. And then me and Screw decided we should do a project together because people really felt our chemistry.
Yo, that was fire. That was genius, though.
Yeah.
It was only right. I mean, it was one of the things that you almost had to do it.
Yeah, so we started working on a couple of records, and then Sensi Star Records approached us, signed us both.
Yeah, shout out Sensi Star.
Yeah, shout out
Sensi everything.
J.O. the Last Man, Burke the Jerk, Slaughter Rico, Expo, Tab, Adlib, Ghetto MC. We had a crazy roster. And, that was when I went on my first tours. So, the Scumbag Millionaire thing opened up everything. So then I went on tour with Adlib, went to Canada, did a run there, and then we did an American run. And I kind of linked with all the promoters from all those cities. And then eventually, once I did television and was Sway's Top 10 of the Year and One Team Backpack, after all those things, I was able to put together, based on Adlib's, the way that he was running his tours, I did the same exact thing and hit a lot of those same markets like Montana and Wisconsin, Wyoming, and was able to turn it into my own tour later on down the road. So, every time I see that hoodie, it just brings so much joy to me because that project is so monumental in my career as well as Screw's career, and to this day, that's still my brother. You know what I mean? We still make music constantly. He was here in the studio the other day, and we did a show together in New York. I just love that guy,
That's what's up. And that's why I wore it, man. Because like I said, one thing I love is some swag, brother.
Yeah.
Anytime I can promote somebody, but like I said, I always try and keep a memento of these people that I meet. Because we met 6 years ago, roughly.
Damn.
At Jersey Fresh Jam, if I'm not mistaken.
So the reason why I really, really remember this is because we had just got there. And you were like, hey, I want to get one of them CDs and a shirt. And we were like, all right, cool. It's $30. And you didn't have change of $100. And you gave us $100. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember,
But
bro.
you gave us $100, and it meant so much to us because we were like, we were so broke at the time, and like we didn't have change for you, and you did that for us, and I was like, yo, I'll forever be grateful for the fact that you did that.
I brought something, bruh. I wanted to open it up with this. I need you to look at that, brother.
Okay, let's get
I need
it.
you to look at that.
See what we
I know you got
got.
one hand there with the microphone, you know what I mean? But you should be counting.
Woo! That was.
Wait. Who was that?
That was the young man full of hope. That's when I had hope. That's when I had dreams. That's when I had my little fro, my little tight, my little what's that? My little Brillo.
Yeah.
It's my little Brillo pad. Yeah, that was a young man.
Tell me about that Derek Gaines as a comedian.
This Derek Gaines was young and ambitious. He was 4 years into comedy.
Didn't even curse, y'all.
Didn't curse. He used to say
Mother
truck.
trucker.
He used to say truck.
Mother
and
trucker.
all that.
Okay, we're back again after that commercial break. I hope you all like what you're seeing. And if you want to advertise, please email me at where'sthefood2013@gmail. We'll leave that on the screen for you for later because I don't feel like spelling it out. So anyway, we're back with my man Ren Thomas. Ren, tell us where we at, man. We down here. We in Elizabeth, New Jersey, but it seems like we like subterranean underground. Talk about this spot for a minute.
Right now, we're at my studio, Feed the Wolves studio in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I built this recently. I didn't want to do like a fancy studio, like you would see in
You want
like
to stay hungry. Stay
Yeah,
hungry.
yeah. So I kind of made it a little bit more grimy, just because like I want the studio to reflect what's in my head.
That's what's up.
Not like I'm not making the studio like we do rent this out to people, and if anybody has questions of that, they could DM me at Ren Thomas Music on Instagram or any other social media.
That's your social media as well,
It's
right?
at Ren Thomas Music. They'll probably put it right here. So I wanted this. I didn't want to have people come in and see it as like, the fancy boards, because a lot of that stuff is like not really needed anymore. Everything's pretty much digital. So I wanted it to look like the studio I built in my parents' basement when I was a kid. That's exactly what I did here.
And what age was around that when you built that studio?
I was in 8th grade or a freshman in high school, so about 13, 14, something like that.
That's what's up.
My dad helped me build a booth, and I did a lot of my early stuff down there. We used to record on a tape deck, and
4-track?
No, it was a 2-track tape deck, and then I ran it through this mixer, and we would have to
Tascam?
I forget what it was.
Oh, you had the Radio Shack brand. If you don't remember,
I definitely don't remember. It was like my brother's cassette deck, and
that was the actual name of it. My brother's cassette deck.
yeah. I found it somewhere, but we used to have we would have 5 cats down there rapping on it, and like if somebody messed up, we had to redo the whole song. So like the last person on the track would always mess up. We'd have to re-record the whole thing because it was one take. So we would learn the whole song and do each other's ad-libs. They were great times, great times. But
those are the training grounds that made you who you are now.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of these cats that are coming up now that are younger, they don't know what it's like to not have digital recorded music and like do it analog like the way we were back then. And like those times were so fun. You know what I mean? So like that's why I created this place to look the way it does.
That's what's up. And trust me, y'all, it looks grimy. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's hip-hop, man.
Yeah.
Hip-hop has that element of grime to it.
It shouldn't be clean.
Nah. And, you don't want people to think you in Hollywood, too, because, he's getting to a bag nowadays. But one thing I have to say, man, you kept it real, man.
Thank you.
And you're keeping it real to your roots. And
Yeah.
battle rap is grimy, so...
Yeah.
You definitely did a good job on the representation.
Thank you.
I wish y'all could see the ceiling because there's a lot of dope wax up here, y'all. Y'all kids might have. We call wax records.
Yeah.
So I
like
had to-
vinyls.
Vinyl, yeah. Now, one kid told me he seen a CD in my car. He's like, yo, you got physicals? And I was like, yo, why did you talk about my mom and dad? Like, what do you mean physicals? Like, he's like, the CD, it's a physical copy. I was oh, okay. Well, some of the kid lingo I ain't get to yet.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's funny.
we got to talk about it, man. I want to jump right into it.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody says. Sign, man.
Yeah.
VH1.
Yeah.
The show. How did that change people's perception of you as an MC or as a battle rapper?
Well, so when I was 18, I got my first record deal. I feel like I have to start from there.
Yeah, start from the beginning, bro.
I started with my man Tab in Stereo. We had a group called Dead Poet Society. We put out a mixtape, and we got a deal off of it with Vidir Music Group, who was ran by Novell Hodge, and he was part of like Heavy D and the Boys Camp.
Okay.
So we used to go to Mount Vernon and record. We ended up getting shelved for a couple years, and I wasn't really able to put out music.
Right. How long was that contract? Because a lot of
It was
people don't understand.
2 years.
Okay. When you get shelved, if you're under contract, you can't release any more music because you're under contract. So, when you sign those so-called record deals, everybody, make sure you know what you're getting into and make sure you have a decent lawyer that can protect you against getting shelved or just protect you against a bad contract altogether.
Yeah. I actually just seen the lawyer who did the contract.
You want to state his name?
No.
Okay, no problem. We're going to leave that out.
He's a really good dude.
Okay.
He just didn't know music business. And he was actually in a barber shop that I had been walking through. And then the barber told me later, he was like, that guy said he was your lawyer. And I was like, oh, why didn't he say what's up? And he was like, he said he didn't know how the deal went.
You should have grabbed the razor and told him to close his eyes. You got to shave him real quick.
I didn't even realize it was him.
Give him a little Colombian necktie.
Nah. We're out of love out here.
All love. No violence. Peace.
But so the deal went that way, and then the only thing I could do creatively was basically battle rap. I had done it like house parties in the street. I had done a lot of like freestyle over competition, freestyle over beat competitions at like colleges and stuff like that, and I always won. So I knew I was nice with it. So then this Jersey battle.
You've been nice.
I've been nice, exactly. So this Jersey battle league called When Animals Attack popped up, and I did that, and I ended up like winning the championship over there. And then Grind Time showed interest, and at the time, Grind Time was the biggest battle league in the world. So I started doing that. I went undefeated for a couple years, and then I went back to music. So then through music, all the years that I did that, then all of a sudden I went on tour. I met these guys from Cali. They told me about Team Backpack. Team Backpack had a competition.
And shout out to Team Backpack, man. A lot of people came through those competitions, and it was nice.
Yeah.
And we sitting with one of them.
Yeah. So there was like 10,000 MCs. I ended up winning. And then someone in the crowd was gonna be was scouting talent for a TV show. So they submitted my name. They flew. Then MTV originally was gonna be the people who were putting the sign show out.
Okay.
But it ended up getting bought by VH1. But they're all under the same umbrella. They're all the Viacom.
Viacom.
Yeah.
Universal, Vivendi. Learn your stuff, people.
Yeah.
Know who's who, because you think everything is a different branch. It's one umbrella.
For sure. So they flew me out to LA. I tried out. I made the show. Then they brought me out to the show. So what people don't see is they basically bring me into a room. I have 2 songs prepared. They bring me into the room, and I walk in, and in front of me is Rick Ross, Lenny S., and The Dream.
I gotta stop you right there. So when you walked into the room, what was the feeling in your stomach? Because normally, it's like being on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You get that high, and your stomach feels as you're going down. What did you think when you seen those 3 faces in front of you?
Well, the only one that I recognized right away was Rick Ross. Because they were far away. They were like in another room. So like I could see them. And I'm like, is that
was it like a 2-way mirror?
No. It wasn't like I got booked. It wasn't like I got booked, but I see Rick Ross and I'm like, oh damn. And like I didn't really know who The Dream looked different than I had remembered him. Right. Because he's a little older now. But and I remember
real
him,
short too, I hear.
Nah. Okay. I mean, maybe shorter than people would assume. But a lot of rappers are shorter than you would assume they are.
Right.
So like, and Lenny, I had seen his face before, but I wasn't sure who he was. But I knew he was somebody big. And then later on, when they were like, "Yeah, that's Jay-Z's right hand man," I was like,
"Shout out Rock Nation,
yeah,
Jay,
shout
everybody.
out to all 3 moguls. They were great to work with. And so the first song I did, they don't show this on the show. I kill it, and they were like, "Yeah, that was cool. Let me hear the second song." So the second song comes in. I stutter on my intro. And I'm like, hey, can I run that back? And they were like, no, you're cut.
What?
Yeah, that's how it went down in real life. Okay. So I was like, all right, what am I going to do now? So then Rick Ross was like, yo, it says on your, because they have a bio of everybody. You know what I mean? Like American Idol out there, they show you, they have the bio, they know your name and all that. So they're like, it says you're an undefeated battle rapper, we don't believe you. And I was like,
He
cool.
said, we don't believe you.
Yeah.
You need more people.
Exactly. So I was like, I was like, all right, well, I'll battle right now. And they were like, all right, hold on. And they went and they got the kid Nilly and they brought him down.
Ooh, shout out Nilly too,
So
yeah.
so then they put me in front of him and they're like, all right, battle. And as I'm battling, I'm looking around the room and seeing the producers of the show like how great that moment was gonna be for television. Because it was one of like the highlight moments of the TV show.
Right.
And so I do that, and they're like, all right, we're going to keep you around. Because, you know, I did really well. Nilly did really well, too. So then, from there, I did, like, you know, the different challenges. But in the, so I did Straight No Chaser at the thing. And if you watch the TV show, they're like, wow, he's got this place rocking.
Yeah,
like, he's
yeah, I've seen
actually,
that.
you know, so then they kind of started to take me serious as a artist as well, not just a battle rapper. But then they kept using me as a battle rapper. And they would come in the studio and listen to everybody else's music and never ask to hear anything that I was doing. So,
Why do you think that was?
because they kind of had me pinned as a battle rapper, which isn't really what I do. It's
Right.
what I did and I can do it. Like
Right.
it's always
A
in my
rapper's a
it's always
rapper.
in my bag when I need it. But like it's not what I do. So then they brought me to meet Khaled. I met Khaled. Khaled was like, yo.
Shout out Khaled.
Yeah, shout out DJ Khaled.
Another one.
Super nice guy. And Dre from Cool and Dre was with him. And he was like, yo, you need to link this kid with Timberland. And I was like, all right, cool. And then we met DJ Mustard. This wasn't on the show. This got cut out of the show completely.
Wow, that's crazy. Shout out to Mustard too, man. A lot of people don't know Mustard moves around a lot, man.
Yeah.
He's behind the scene on a lot of production.
Yeah, so I did a record while I was in California. Mustard listened to mine and the two other cats that were out there with me, and he picked me. He was like, he's dope. And then we came back. Then they put me in front of Drama. I rapped for
Shout out
Drama.
DJ Drama.
DJ Drama made me spit my verse 3 times because he liked it so much. He kept running it back.
So he hit the rewind on you?
He was it was on his show. I don't know if they ever played it on Shade 45, but it was on. We went up to his radio show. I walked in, Scarface was walking out. I almost freaked out.
That's what's up, yeah. Shout out to Scarface. Big fan of Scarface.
Yeah, me too. And then I start spitting the verse, and he's like, "Stop, let's do that again. I gotta hear that again." So I did it 3 times, and he was like, "Oh, it's fire." Now when we got back, they're playing my music upstairs. So I get to we get back, and then they start, like, Rick Ross had a little bit of beef with one of the kids on the show because he liked the girl. This all plays out on television, so I don't care. This isn't like I'm not snitching on nobody.
Right.
But he liked the one girl, and the girl liked the dude on the show. So then he brought the dude into the room to battle me, and I sent him home.
Right. So they kind of use you as like almost like a Terminator.
Yeah, if you
know what I
look
mean?
out
like
the
a
show,
cyborg.
one of the things I said on the show, I was like, Rick Ross just uses me as a weapon. You know what I mean? Like he's basically like just using me to, like, you know,
eliminate
people.
Yeah.
And then as it went forward, you know, everything I did, I was always number 1, right? So then, all right, I'll tell you how it happened on TV, right? So on TV, you see me do well the whole time, and then they do the final performance, and it looks like I choke.
Yo, let me tell you something, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
I was watching that, and I said, ain't no way in the world
Yeah.
Ren Thomas forgot his lyrics.
I'm a world freestyle champion.
Like I knew that was a setup. I knew that there was something wrong there. But
There's never been a time in my life where I couldn't freestyle my way out of a mess up. And like the song that I performed, I had it down pat. So so that's what plays out on TV. And then I go into the room and they're like, "We're not giving you the deal because you stopped rapping." Right? That's what they said on TV.
Wow.
But what really happened in real life is they do a dress rehearsal. But now during the dress rehearsal, they brought us to the finale at the club. None of the moguls are there, but all the crowd is there. Because they tell these kids, like, hey, Rick Ross, you know, they name all the people, Meek Mills, everybody that was going to be there. And then they put it out on Craigslist or Facebook, whatever they do. And all the people come as extras. So the crowd is there. And they're there from like 2 in the afternoon to midnight. So at like 3 in the afternoon, they bring us in to do a dress rehearsal. So you wear the same clothes, you're dressed in all the same stuff, and you perform for that crowd. Now, during that performance, the music stopped. So I stop and I go, I look up. Because if you watch, I look up because the DJ booth was up in the air.
Yeah.
So I look up and I'm like, So then they bring it back in. I finish the song, and then afterwards I go to the DJ, and I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "My computer got unplugged." I'm not even gonna get into that, but whatever. I know the way computers work.
Tell I Vision.
Yeah, exactly. So then later on that night, if you watch the show, while they're panning the room when I stop rapping, the section with all the celebrities is empty. That was on TV, and people didn't catch it
one of
because
their
it was
bloopers.
like a swoop shot to it and then back. You know what I mean? So like, and people had sent me that clip. They're like, look, there's not even anybody there when you messed up, and
Perception.
I'm like, first of all, I didn't mess up. The music stopped, and it was a dress rehearsal. So then I come out that night, and I kill it. I was one of 2 people on the show who didn't mess up that finale. And after the show, Meek Mills came up to me, told me I was fire. Chris Rock's brother, I'm not sure what his name is.
Leroy Rock? Is it Leroy? No?
I'm not sure, but
My bad.
he came up to me and said, you know, you did great, blah blah blah. Everybody says, yo, you're super dope, super dope. Now when I got to the next day, they brought us to Dream's mansion or whatever, and then that's where they told us if we got a deal or not. So they bring me in, and Dream's like, you're not what I'm looking for. Obviously, I'm not a singer, and I don't make pop rap music, so whatever. And then Ross was like, hip hop needs you, right? But you just don't fit what I'm trying to do.
What he's trying to do? What is that? Was his way of saying that you're not marketable?
I guess so.
Because I mean, what's marketable nowadays? I mean, look around the industry. There's a lot of cats that's not marketable, but they're still making good music.
The thing is like Meek Mill was a battler.
Of course.
So like, I don't know, but whatever. That's what Ross says. And then I thought Lenny was gonna sign me to Rock Nation, and then Lenny was like, "Yo, you just don't have a hit," and I was like, "Okay." Now usually, someone who believes in somebody and they don't have a hit, they'll help them create that.
As they should as producers.
As an A&R.
In the industry, that's their job.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the reason that they don't sign me. And then the show comes out and it looks totally different. But while I'm watching the show, I was 10,000 votes in first place above the person in second place from viewers.
Wow.
So like everybody that was watching, and then after the show went off, all I got was messages about how messed up it was, how it went down.
Yeah.
But it's TV. The way that everybody viewed it at home and the way it actually went down in real life was totally different. You know, Rick Ross never told me, like, in the room that, he said hip hop needs you. He didn't say you stopped rapping, which is what they used. But he never said that to me.
Right.
They were like, and then there was a part where, because I messed up in the beginning, the first day when I stuttered, they took a clip that they did with me then, where I was like, yeah, I messed up, but I should have. They used that clip for the end episode when Rick Ross is like telling somebody, not me, you shouldn't have stopped. He was like, you shouldn't have stopped. You let us down. That's what he says on TV. And then it goes to me from the first episode being like, yeah, I messed up, but you know, it is what it is.
So one thing we know about TV, as we all know, with editors and producers, you know, sometimes they make things appear to be what they're not.
Well, I was so careful about what I said on that show because in the contract it said we have the right to make you look any way we want.
Yeah, because they're using your image.
Yeah.
And once you sign that right away, you see what they did.
Yeah. So, you know, they would ask me questions about other people on the show, but I was afraid that they were going to be like, "Hey, what do you think about snakes?" And I'd be like, "I hate it." And they'd be like, "All right, well, how do you feel about Rick Ross's new album?" And I'm like, "I love it." And then they take it and they go, "What do you think about Rick Ross's new album?" I hate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
chop it up.
they would ask me questions about other artists on the show, and I'd be like, "Man, I'm here for music. Don't talk to me."
That's what's up.
Like,
And that's sometimes how you gotta do. You gotta
Yeah.
shut it down.
Yeah, I
'Cause
was-
if you, like we saying, if you leave that space available, they will use it.
And I saw that firsthand with things that I never imagined they would have done. So then from the show, you know, like I gained a lot of notoriety and I became another underdog story because of what had happened, and so many people were mad that I didn't get signed.
Yeah, because let me tell you something, bruh. Sitting here with you, I already know your skills. Man, there's a lot of rappers that are signed that shouldn't be signed.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own.
Yeah, we ain't gonna go to names.
Different music for different people, you know what I mean?
But as you were saying, though, so how did that raise your stock? Because, you know, a lot of rappers right now, and the way the industry is set up with all these A&R showcases and everybody's paying to play, how do you feel? What's your standpoint on pay to play, first of all? And then second of all, how did that raise your stock? Because I know it did.
Yeah, I mean, so the raise of my stock, because I was in 2 million living rooms every week, you know, for 8 weeks.
Whether you wanted them in your house or not.
Yeah, I was there. So it definitely added a lot of attention to me. And then once people went and listened to the music, a lot of them became fans. And it definitely boosted my stock because now they could be like, if I go to LA, they could put Ren Thomas from VH1 signed, and people will come out because I'm connected to now Rick Ross and Dream and Lenny S and DJ Khaled and all these things at VH1. So now more people are coming out to the shows, so my price goes up. And at the same time as the show was going on, I had also became Sway's top 10 of that year.
Yeah,
And-
that clip was dope. We're going to show that clip as well. So
Yeah, so
make sure we
there
throw that
was
in.
just a lot of like things that all happened at once that were all accidental. I didn't plan for any of that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, they say if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. I don't really go into this with an exact plan. I'm just like, I'm going to put out the best content I can. I'm going to stay cool with everybody. I'm going to maneuver right. I'm going to keep my business straight, and I'm just going to, you know, keep pushing forward. What happens, happens, because that's the way it's supposed to happen. So, and as far as the pay-to-play thing, we did it early when I was like 18. I remember we did one show.
Listen up, everybody, because this is something that we talk about a lot in hip-hop.
Yeah.
So
we did
listen up.
we did one show. But the way that these showcases are set up, they're set up to feed the pockets of the person promoting it, and they're set up to feed the pockets of the A&Rs who probably aren't even A&Rs anymore. So what
Say it again, brother.
What they do is they take somebody who used to work at Def Jam or is a low man on a totem pole at Rockefeller or whatever it is, and they say, hey, want to come out and make $500 on a Tuesday and come listen to 10 artists rap. And then they all profit off of it. The artists come out, they pay $250 or whatever the price is to come perform. And the A&Rs aren't even there to really listen to the music. They're there to get a free bottle and a check real quick and then be about their day.
And if you notice most though, because you know we've been in a million showcases,
Yeah.
they sitting on their phone, you know,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
at the bar, they talking to each other.
Yeah.
You know,
I
unless you know,
work-
once in a while an act catch their ear, they might stop for a minute and pay attention.
Yeah. And then usually there's no follow-up. You know what I mean? So like the artist, they might be like, yeah, I'm into this artist. And then the artist reaches out. And by the time they reach out a week later, the person has forgot about them because they weren't there. They're not really there to scout talent because A&Rs really don't exist anymore. People aren't building talent. There is no artist development. If you don't come with 1 million followers and making records that are selling and streaming crazy, like a label's not even going to like really pay interest to you. There's very few labels that are taking cats that are like, they used to find cats who could rap and then build them into artists, teach them how to dress, teach them how to talk, media train them, all those things. Now you have to come with that. That's why a lot of these guys slip up because they don't have any media training, and then they get put in an interview with Ebro or someone like that, and then they say something wild, and then all of a sudden their career is messed up. Then they have to get all these I forget what it's called when you bring in somebody after
PR
like
people.
like you have to a crisis person,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh my God, I said this crazy thing on Hot 97, and now I need somebody to manage this. A crisis manager is what it's called.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, they're not building artists anymore. They're just they're waiting for somebody to pop. And then they come in and they try to either do a partnership with them or they give them a 360. And that's the thing too. If you get if you even come in as
Stay away from a 360 deal.
if you even come in as an artist that nobody knows and they build you, then you're getting 360'd, and then in 5 to 10 years you're broke and you have to be one of these guys that comes to the showcases to judge artists because you don't have any money and you need to feed your family.
Yeah,
because they
facts.
made you look rich, but the money wasn't actually liquid. You know what I mean? So it's like the pay to play thing. Look, if you have the money and you want to do it and you want to go out there, I would do it as practice, right? Go out there, get comfortable getting in front of a crowd. You know what I'm saying? Because that could be difficult at first. But don't put all your, don't be like, this show is going to change your life.
No,
Because
it's not.
the show that you think isn't going to change your life is probably the one that will. And the ones you put all your eggs in that one basket and they get crushed.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
And that's why a lot of people are telling them, listen, man, there's got to be a point in time where you stop pay to play.
Yeah.
Keep moving, get your buzz up, let the tables turn like
Mm-hmm.
you did. Now that your stock is up, people know you're not coming in. Man, they ain't going to call you to come to a showcase and try and charge you. They out their mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm glad you were able to do that, man, raise your stock
Mm-hmm.
and get to a point where you're at now.
Doug Jacobson and Burt Gallagher Jr. present Equality Vodka. 20% of proceeds go to LGBTQ organizations. Jersey Shore Cosmetics presents Quattro H2O. Enhanced spring water with 100 milligrams of caffeine.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket.
You got something on my burger, yeah?
Welcome back to that same old place.
I got some money. How much can I get for this?
Well, the names have all changed since you hung around.
Come on, little
But
Roscoe,
those
get out of here,
dreams have
man.
remained and they turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to WTF. Can I take your order?
Welcome back. Welcome back. We always could spot a friend. Welcome back.
So now that your stock is up, you're putting bodies in the room. How do the promoters treat you now? Because I know it's got to be different now. Ain't no,
Yeah,
yo,
I
we
mean-
can get rent on this showcase.
It's always love. And the people that I work with, they have respect for me and I have respect for them. So, it's definitely different. You know what I mean? And I know how the game works. So it's like, when you're low man on the totem pole, nobody shows you no respect. You move up a little and now they got a check for you and some bottles and anything that you need. You know what I mean? So it's
Yes,
like,
sir.
it's cool, but I also always remember where I came from. I remember doing pay to play. I remember all that stuff. And I mean, I wouldn't discourage people from taking opportunities to perform in front of people because it's just like they should get the practice of performing in front of people. It's just the way to put stock into that as an artist and be like, this is going to be the moment that changes our lives.
Right.
Like that's probably not going to happen because of the reasons that we said before. But like, anytime you get the opportunity to perform in front of people, you should take it. Now I wouldn't pay for it. We did like one, maybe two times, and then we started just doing shows around our area and putting 50 people in a room, or and then building it to like now I do usually like 500 to 1,000 people, which is cool for me because I people think that numbers are everything, right? So like people have 100,000 followers on Instagram, but
Are they real?
Exactly. Are they real? Are they actually people who buy your music? Now I have 20,000 followers presently. They are people who actually follow me, and a lot of those people buy my music. A lot of those people buy hoodies. A lot of those people buy hats. So I go all over the country, and people come to the shows. So it's like, I'd rather have 20,000 people who actually like my music than have 100,000 people and maybe 5,000 of them like me.
Right.
And the rest of them are there because
They're fake.
I'm either a good-looking chick or and I'm getting naked on Instagram, or for whatever reasons you're being stupid, or doing all this this dumb stuff that a lot of these kids do to get attention.
Yeah, right,
you know what
right,
I mean?
facts.
I hate the internet. Right? I know
But unfortunately, we got to use it 'cause
have
it's the
to.
industry we in.
So we live in that, but I also don't care what people are doing at every moment of their day. I think that there should be mystique to artists. I don't want people to know my every single move. You know what I mean? You're kind of setting yourself up for bad situations if people always know where you are.
This is true. This is true.
And plus, I said on a record a while ago, I said, people probably think my life is boring, but I don't take pictures in the studio. I'm busy recording. You know what I mean? Because that's real life to me. Like,
Right. Well, you know, most of the people now, they're doing everything for the gram or for the book.
Exactly.
So, you know, and I get that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's what you want to do.
I don't do it for the gram. I do it for the culture. I love hip hop. Hip hop is what I breathe. It's what I drink. It's what I do.
Ooh,
So
did you hear that, y'all? For the culture.
100%. And people
For the
use
culture.
people use culture in the wrong way now, because people say this is for the culture, but it's not. If you don't know who Africa Bambaataa is, and you don't know that Grand Wizard Theodore invented the scratch, then you can't say you're a part of a culture if you don't know its history. And a lot of these cats will say,
Facts.
a lot of these cats will say they don't care about the pioneers.
How could you not care about the pioneers?
Exactly, because once you discredit history, you're bound to repeat it.
Ooh, wow. He dropped the jewel. Did you hear it hit the ground, y'all? Things bouncing around right now. Yo, that was a diamond, yo.
Thank you.
Listen, what's going on, man? I know you got a new album coming out.
Yeah, it dropped this past Wednesday. It's called Wednesday Volume 1.
Okay, where can they cop the album, bro? Because if people listen, if you haven't heard Ren Thomas, or you don't know who he is, or you didn't see signed, or your cable was cut off, or your TV was broke, whatever the situation was, where can they find your music, brother?
All streaming platforms. It's everywhere. So and I do physicals as well. So like, if people, yeah,
You mean
exactly.
CDs, by that.
CDs. So
We old school.
you know, I'm really bad at this part of rap music. So like, people are always like, yeah, drop all your social medias. The easiest way to find my music is just to Google Ren Thomas, because it'll all pop up.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
So in other words, you created what they call a digital footprint.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of artists, if you Google yourself and nothing shows up, keep working.
word. Yeah. I didn't even do any of this stuff on Google. It just comes
Right.
up now.
And you don't have to, because you're
Yeah.
putting in the work, and what people are doing now is they're sharing your work because they're seeing your worth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what it is. A lot of cats don't understand. You got to build up to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you drop a video on YouTube where you spit a hot 16,
Yeah.
that don't mean you're going to be on the next day. You got a lot of footwork to
Yeah.
do. You know what I
Think-
mean? And now with social media, it makes it easier, but you still have to physically do the work.
Yeah. One thing I want to stress to up and coming artists is that
Listen up.
you need to work your music. So like, a lot of cats will drop something and not get the return response that they initially want. But you have to go out there and you have to work the album. I had an album called I've Been Nice, and I worked it for 2 years.
Yeah, I still got that thing too.
Yeah, and I worked it for 2 years. I was still putting out other music, but I was working the records. I was doing new videos all the time. I was promoting it. I was going out there and traveling the country and traveling the whole world and going out there and putting it physically in other people's hands so that they heard it. Like, and people will put out music and then they forget about it a week later. Like, you can't do that if you're an up and coming artist. You have to work the music and believe in the product that you created.
Right, but unfortunately, the time and day and age that we live in now, and I don't want to, say a generation, but everything is, the attention span is real short.
100%.
You know what I mean? That's why even videos and songs now are 2 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah.
2 minutes, because the attention span. Listen, man, if something's dope, take the time to listen and get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like sometimes with the interviews, people, oh, that was too long. Yeah, but you might have missed the part that you need to hear.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
And so with that being said, that's a good segue into this year. I'm dropping 20 projects, right?
20 did you say 20 projects, brother?
So I'm dropping 17 EPs, each one with a different producer, 5-track EPs, and then I have 3 full-length albums coming out.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Well, one came out, so 2 more, so 19 more projects. But I believe that. So that would be what we used to call oversaturation. But in this point in time, people forget about who you are if you're not in their face constantly.
There you go.
We were just talking about that before.
Being
If you're
in their
not in their
face
face,
all
they're
the
going to
time.
forget about you because the attention span's this big. So I'm going to continue to put out a whole lot of material this year. So the way that this album, Wednesday Volume 1, came about is every Wednesday I would drop a new record. And I was creating them like Tuesday night.
Hence the name Wednesday.
Yeah, so because the TV show, so Signed was on Wednesday nights. And people would be like, tonight's Wednesday. You know what I mean? Because like the people who were supporting me were calling it that. And I was
Mad
like,
love too, man. People
Yeah.
showed mad love.
a lot of love. People who from all over the place, which has its ups and downs because a lot of those people are the same people who told me I'd never make it, never do anything. You know what I mean?
The best thing in the world, man, is proving somebody wrong.
100%.
Because once you do it, it's done.
Yeah.
know
And
what I
so the Wednesday project is out. So I did 10 weeks of dropping a single. So the first 10 songs are those joints, and then there's 5 bonus records. I got Screw Tape on there. I got OT the Real on there. I got my man Hayes, Piff Jones. I know I'm forgetting somebody. My boy Greg Miller. And each track is produced by a different producer.
That's what's up. And shout out to everybody on there, especially shout out to OT the Real.
Yeah.
He just did a joint with Big O, which is from Trenton.
Yeah.
So
I just talked to
now,
Big
man,
O.
Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
up. Listen, man, right now Jersey got a wave, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody's paying attention. Matter of fact, we don't even care if you're paying attention. Jersey's got a mad wave right now, and we're gonna let this thing hit you like a tsunami.
Yeah, man. There's so much talent here, and we really get overshadowed by the buildings over there.
Yeah. Well, you know what I tell people? I've always said this. We the alleyway between Philly and New York.
Yep.
But you gotta come through Jersey.
100%.
You gotta jump on that turnpike sooner or later.
Yep.
Whether you're going 95 North or 95 South, 287, the Parkway, whatever road you on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Route 1, I don't care.
Yeah.
It goes from New York to New Jersey, goes all the way to Philly, wherever.
Yeah. And so I just got a lot of new stuff coming out this year. I'm excited. I'm in like the best place in my career. I do feel like this year is a very important year for me because I'm coming off of a lot of big accomplishments. And, you know, I definitely need to fulfill all these, like, you know, fill my own shoes again because I did so much last year. And now, you know, I'm just super excited about 2019 and
Good,
2020.
As you should be, bro. 'Cause right now, you buzzing in the streets. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I've been following you for a minute, so you're not
Yeah,
new to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
I knew you've been nice.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm Tim McCrae.
Ren Thomas.
WTF Food and Music, 2 things that'll always bring people together. Signing off, man. We'll see.
Jersey.
Jersey, always.